Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TechGeek webinar series, our endeavor to impart techies. We believe that sharing of knowledge is the key to enhance our skills and grow us as professionals. With this principle in mind, we have initiated a series of webinars conducted by industry experts to give you all a crisp insight of various domains. The topic of today's session is Importance of Information Security Standards Compliance, and this is the fifth session in the IT security series that we have on TechGeek. Our guest speaker today is Mr. Kaleem Ahmed Usmani, Head of Operations at Computer Emergency Response Team of Mauritius, that is a division of the National Computer Board Mauritius. Mr. Kaleem Usmani is an experienced security professional and currently heading the Mauritian Computer Emergency Response Team. He has more than 11 years of experience in information technology areas and teaching. Kaleem has worked in various industry sectors including ISPs, textile, education, and communication. He is a certified information security professional, a certified ISO 27001 and BS 25999 lead auditor, a certified secure software development professional, and a certified ethical hacker. So without further delay, I introduce you all to our guest speaker. Over to you, Mr. Kaleem.
Hello.
Are you able to view your screen?
Hello, are you there?
Yeah, you can start the session. We're able to view your screen now.
Firstly, I'd like to thank TechGeek. Yeah. All right. Hi, everybody there. I'd like to thank TechGeek for giving me an opportunity to talk into this particular session. Thank you so much, TechGeek. Ladies and gentlemen, my presentation will be on to the importance of information security standards compliance. So before I just start and talk about my presentation and then we start talking about the information security standards compliance, firstly I would like to have a very quick introduction what I do and where I'm working, what normally we are doing. And then I think after that, I'll just run through my slides and then the discussion we can start and we can have supposedly a very fruitful discussion today for this particular session. So my name is Kaleem Ahmed Usmani, as just Mohini has told, and then I'm working as the head of operations for Computer Emergency Response Team of Mauritius. And just quickly, just to tell you that Computer Emergency Response Team of Mauritius, when it was set up, this is basically a national computer emergency response team which was set up in 2008. And this is an emergency response team which looks after, how we can say, the national level incidents. It talks about, how we can say, the information security culture within the country, and this particular National Computer Emergency Response Team, which was set up in 2008, is again affiliated to the Forum of Incident Response and Technical Teams. And this is, how we can say, a forum which is understood to be one of the, how we can say, a most renowned forum for incident response around the world. And this CERT is operational under the aegis of the National Computer Board. And National Computer Board is a para-public body set up to promote the development of ICT in the country, and especially, of course, this is in Mauritius. Now, quickly, what normally we do, and then I think, these are the main services. And before I start, this is what I wanted to say, that CERT, of course, is a non-profit organization, and which is set up, of course, in Mauritius. The services, includes information security, incident handling management, and as I think you must be aware that as all the certs around the world, their main core job is incident handling, and of course, like we say, managing the incidents. I mean, this could be within the sector, this could be within the organization, this could be at the national level, this could be across sectors, this could be within the critical information, let's say information infrastructure protection sectors. So I mean, incident handling is something which is done everywhere, and we being a cert, we manage incidents at the level of the country, and of course that's in Mauritius, and that includes the entire cyber community of Mauritius, and this is how we call the constituency members. Now another, I mean, a service which we normally, I mean, which is already started here is vulnerability scanning and penetration testing of networks and the applications as well as devices. And this is something again we do. We try to scan, and then we see the vulnerabilities from inside, from outside. Pen test is done, and then I mean this is another service which CERT does. And then we issue targeted security alerts. So I mean we do, how you can see, vulnerability analysis. We do, for example, reverse engineering. Based onto that, we try to find, how you can see, I mean, the weaknesses, and then based onto that, whatever the vendor weaknesses are there, we study that, and then as per, how we call it, say, those sectors could be a banking sector, could be, for example, let's say a telecommunication sector, could be, for example, I mean, let's say, I mean, banking sector. So it could be anything, and pertains to that, the security alerts are normally sent to them. Could be a product based, could be a Cisco, could be, for example, let's say, I mean, your platform based solutions. That kind of, how we call it, say, alerts are normally sent to the, I mean, constituencies. Another service which we normally offer is the network infrastructure assessment, and this network infrastructure assessment, we just try to, how we say, assess the, I mean, networks of different organizations, and we look at the secure topology, and then based onto that we advise, how we call it, say, the institutions how they could have an optimized and best configured a network, let's say, implemented. Another service, I think, I mean, which we are talking about is that, and which is much more related to today's presentation, is the implementation of information management system based on ISO 27001 standard. So of course, I mean, this is like, I mean, a service which is, I mean, given by CERT to the whole, I mean, constituency members. That includes, I mean, all the sectors from CERT, and we help them in order to implement the ISO 27000 standard, and that's of course known as the information security management system, and then this is another service which normally we do. And then other service which we are talking about is a third party information security. So this is again, I mean, this service we provide, I mean, based on the request which we get from the, I mean, let's say, industry, we try to audit, I mean, their, how we say, I mean, organization, and then normally we provide that report. And then, I mean, we are having a security awareness and the capacity building program on information security, and that's one of the important component of information security, where technology update workshops and then capacity building, for example, different trainings, for example, could be, let's say, ISC Square training, or let's say SOCAR training, or let's say, I mean, EC Council training, these kind of trainings which we organize and churn out, let's say, local professionals, and then they, I mean, of course, could be, let's say, gain experience into the area of information security, and of course, I mean, that could be best for the organizations in order to, let's say, I mean, in terms of information security management. So I think this was all about, I mean, CERT Mauritius, and this is, I mean, what we do. And I think, I mean, I'll proceed now to the, I mean, presentation. But before I could start, and I go on talking about information security standards compliance, which means that what are the different standards, security standards I'm talking about, which normally organizations are, I mean, adopting it, and they are complying to it, they're implementing that. But I think before that, I wanted to, I mean, let's say, portray and sketch the complete scene of, information security, incidents, because this is the reason why we are going ahead with the compliance, because normally at the end of the day, if we look at that what compliance does, so compliance normally what it does is that it protects, how we can say, the information, it protects, how we can say, organization's information, it protects organization's assets. So if we look at the glance of, how we can say, incidents, so incidents could be anything, because we being at the level of the certain malicious, incidents could range right from compromised accounts, phishing, back to DOS, DDoS, could be, let's say, identity theft, can be, let's say, web defacement, SQL injection, that could be, let's say, email, let's say, abuse, or let's say IP spoofing. So it could be anything. But before that, I wanted to sketch the scene, and that scene is, for example, we are talking about the incidents, and incidents are happening every day, and they are, however, increasing, let's say, at least 2-fold, 3-folds each year around the world if you look at the stats. So, for example, like, recently on March 11, if you look at my slides, so you will find that, Chinese, cyber attack on US. So what normally is happening that the, let's say China is basically attacking, to the US, or we call, let's say, establishments. We are talking about much more, let's say, their network infrastructure, and they are stealing information out of their, let's say, computers and information systems, and they are, let's say, using for something, destructive. Could be, this is, what is the news, and I think based on the news which is I'm talking about. So, and then, how we can say, US is basically, demanding China to block cyber attacks and aggregate tools. So I think, this is one type of, how we call, say, incident which we are talking about. For example, recently, if you have, let's say, read in the news, it was a DDoS attack in Netherlands, and I think that was one of the, biggest and on a very large scale, how we can say, incidents which has occurred, and where, how we can say, which has slowed down the whole internet all around the world, and the magnitude was of around 300 Gbps, and I think that's a huge magnitude of, how we can say, launching an attack. So another type of attack which you could just see that which was launched on March 20th, where cyber attacks paralyzed 3 major banks and 3 largest TV broadcasters in South Korea, and that was another, how we can say, a type of attack where the whole South Korea, especially their banking systems, and how we can say their broadcasting agency was down, and that has crippled the whole, how we can say, operations of these banks and the broadcasting agency. And then like, for example, on April 8, and that's of course yesterday, that's the cyber attacks on Israel, and that is, of course, you have, you may be knowing about it, that all the internet services of, how we can say, in Tel Aviv were crippled, were, how we can say, shut down, and they are saying that there might be a loss of around some $5 billion, and then the stats, they say that some 100,000 Israeli sites which have been attacked, and that's, again, it's huge. It's huge. And then, for example, another slide which I wanted to share is, for example, March 31st, and then on March 31st, according to the 2013 Global Security Report, which have analyzed 400 data breach investigations compared to 300 in 2011 across 29 countries, compared to 18 in 2011. And unsurprisingly, 96% of the breaches involve the theft of the customer records, and that was a payment card data, could be, let's say, a PII, email addresses, and compared to 89% in 2011. So it means that what I'm trying to, see that the attack percentage is increasing, and of course, I would say that will tend to increase as, I would say, internet penetration is increasing, and how we can say more and more how we can say organizations, they are how we can say, onto the internet, and that is how we can say, that is bound to increase, that will not decrease. So ultimately, the idea of talking is here that since these attacks are increasing and they will are getting more sophisticated, and then they are very complex, and of course it happens sometimes that at the first go it will be very, very hard for how we call this system or network administrators to detect that the attack is taking place. So surely something what we are trying to talk about, information security standards and information security standard compliance. So then how do we say that information security standards are of importance and their compliance is important, and ultimately what the organizations they are going to get out of that. So I think this is the whole agenda of today's talk, why information security standards compliance.